Guys, we are live. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to make sure that I'm up and running on Facebook. Let's see. Yep, we look good over here on Facebook. We're off to a rolling good start here. Let me go check and see how I'm doing on YouTube here. Let's see. YouTube seems to be late. Let's see. We got, let me go back. Let's see, excellent connection. There we go. I'm up on YouTube, and then let's go check and see how we're doing over here on Instagram. Let's go live. Let's see what we got here. So Instagram, you might not be able to see me that good, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna rock and roll. All right, so guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is going to be a live stream of the Earning Interest podcast. This is my podcast where I talk about all things investing and entrepreneurship. I'm your gracious host. My name is Michael James. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects. Well, I'm going to have two different subjects that I'm talking about today. As you can see from the screen that I'm sharing here, Bitcoin is at $61,341. It's nearing its all-time high, let me double check to make sure I can see this fairly well. Right now, it is as you can see, its all-time high was at, let's see, just under 69,000, right? So it's $68,000. So the reason why I'm going live right now is because, of course, a lot of people are going to be excited about Bitcoin. Maybe you're excited about, crypto in general, but I want to go live because I had started my journey on trying to understand how Bitcoin actually worked, right? And so one of the things that I best to tell anybody is that when you first try to understand why Bitcoin is necessary, it's because it is trying to solve the double spending problem in centralized banking, right? So the first step is that you would have to understand that, right? And a book that I recommend that explains it pretty well is The Bitcoin Standard. And then once you read that book, I recommend that you follow up about the Federal Reserve and the problem that we have with inflation. So Bitcoin isn't necessarily, in my opinion, is not something that is currently that's going to offset inflation, although it's performing pretty well against that. But to me, it's more of a store of value. I look at it like digital gold, right? So one of the things as a crypto investor that I say is that I don't sell Bitcoin, I sell altcoins, right? And I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist, right? My thing is that holding Bitcoin as a store of value and altcoins just completely just perform better than Bitcoin over the course of time because you can get better return on your investment. And so I feel more comfortable selling. But the reason why I feel more comfortable selling altcoins is because when they have a correction, they usually correct a lot more than Bitcoin does. And that's because their market cap is a lot smaller, right? So as you can see here, right? And one of the things that I want to be clear about in this live stream, right, is no one has a crystal ball, right? No matter how savvy and how well versed in research I think I am, no matter how much technical analysis I think I do, like I also think that when you're researching a crypto project, there's two different things that you have to kind of understand when you're looking at these crypto projects, right? You have to understand what's its real world utility. And what that means is that what problem does this actually solve on the blockchain, right? So I'm currently trying to understand what is it that like if someone sends me an altcoin, right, or sends me a coin to look into, the first thing that I look into is what does it solve on the blockchain, right? Now, I don't mean to ruffle any feathers when I say this, but one of the reasons why I don't really like Dogecoin, right? And because as an investor, right, and I'm a value investor, right, and then I read the book The Intelligent Investor, which is where I got that from. And and I kind of subscribe to those conservative values on investing, right? But I still am somewhat aggressive now that I have more capital to invest, right? But one of the things that I believe in, right, is Dogecoin tells you right up front that it was created as a joke. Now, as someone who's a value investor, and I believe in cryptocurrency, at least if you're going to run a scam on me, right? Please tell me that it actually does something, right? And I'm not saying that people haven't made money in Dogecoin. I know a lot of people are going to comment about how much money somebody else made or anything else like that. Like, I've never, well, I can't say I lied. I invested in Dogecoin when Elon was pumping it, because it looked like a fun opportunity. But I also realized what my risk tolerance was. So when I invested in it, I made sure that I was kind of understanding of what I was investing in, right? So when you invest in these projects, you have to understand what its purpose and what it does on the blockchain, right? So one of the ones that I like the most is Chainlink, right? And the reason why I like Chainlink is because you'll hear a lot. And then I was looking for a video before I stream live. I'll probably find it later and I'll do like a reel or something on it. And it was Jamie Dimon, and he was talking about how he didn't want to hear about Bitcoin, but he realized that blockchain technology had value, right? So a lot of people, especially on the internet, we look for confirmation bias, right? We look for reasons to not understand something, right? And instead, what I listen for is I like to hear the pros and the cons, right? So Jamie Dimon said that he doesn't like Bitcoin for obvious reasons. You can go and check my content. I'm constantly always trying to reel in my emotions so I'm not getting too emotional with the things that I'm doing, right? But one of the things that he realizes is that it has a use case for tokenization of assets, right? So if you're tokenizing assets, right, in order to merge from the Web 2 to the Web 3, right, you would have to get the data, the real world data from Web 2 into the blockchain, which is what Web 3 essentially is, right? So in order to do that, you would need an oracle that's able to pull information from both perspectives. Chainlink offers to do that. Also on the blockchain, when it comes to gaming, and then now something that's really popular is gambling and how you can use that in the blockchain era. Chainlink offers that service that you're able to use real-time data and get it into the blockchain. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be the ultimate solution for things, but what Chainlink is going to offer is the ability to be able to deploy smart contracts using real-world data, right? And this is important in something that I partake in myself, which is real estate, right? So if you're someone who's in real estate and you're thinking about cryptocurrency, it's not financial advice. I'm not credible enough. I lack the credentials in order to give anyone financial advice. So do your own research on this. But Chainlink presents an opportunity for the tokenization of real world assets, right? Because you have to look at when it comes to real estate, one of the things that's like people don't realize is let's circle back and let's talk about NFTs, right? So NFTs is a non-fungible token, right? So when you are thinking about non-fungible tokens, right? So you have to understand what fungible means, right? So the best way that I explain what fungible means, right, is that you can create that exact value in more than one way. And the best way to explain that is using the dollar bill, right? You can print a dollar, right, and have a crisp dollar bill, right? You can also make a dollar with 4 quarters. You can also make a dollar with 10 dimes and 20 nickels and 100 pennies, right? So those are several ways that you can actually create a dollar, which makes that token, that asset, fungible, right? So now, when it comes to why I find blockchain technology so important, right, is that you have to start understanding that what can you use an NFT for that is non-fungible, meaning that it's created one time and one time only. Now, most people, when it comes to NFTs, you only think about those JPEGs and digital art that you have seen, right? The problem with that is most people don't understand the technology and the significance of why, because digital art was low hanging fruit when it came to it, right? So when the reason why art is a good way is because you're trying to authenticate it, right? You're trying to verify that this was an original one of one, right? So now let's talk about real world things that we have that is one of one, right? So I can think of one right off the bat. Your birth certificate is one of one, right? That's something that you would like to have a digital. Well, many people may not like to have it. I'm saying in the future to speed the process of things, right? If you ever tried to find the original copy of your birth certificate, you would find that you have to jump through tons of hoops in order to get it, as well as your social security card, right? That number is a one of one. You could digitize that by making it a non-fungible token onto the blockchain. That way, and so the reason why I see this, right? Something that I see that the use case for this to be is things like your driver's license, right? The DMV. Everyone hates the DMV, right? So you've already had your birth certificate. You did all the work, right? And you're moving around, you moved the countries, you moved to a different state, you lost your birth certificate, right? But then the times to come out, you have to renew your driver's license, maybe get your social security card, a bunch of different things, right? And you can't find it. One of the things, like, and before I know there's tons of people who's going to get into all their kind of conspiracies and things like that. But one of the things that I want you to understand is that it's about just making life easier, right? And then so you use you go to the DMV, you already have your social security card, birth certificate, and driver's license on the blockchain, right? And what do I see in the future for that, right? Me as a visionary, what I'm thinking about is the ease of making the DMV, right? And to automate it, right? Everything's being automated, which is why if you see in this title, I was talking about like how it's also the AI and the GPU gold rush as well. All of this is relative, right? So all my entrepreneur friends who like to create content and want to grow and stuff like that, everything that I'm talking about has relevance to everything that I care about, whether it's real estate, blockchain, technology, crypto, and investing in general, and now AI. I love it, right? And it's because AI and crypto is my era, my time for me to take advantage of an opportunity that other generations never had, right? I'm talking about like I'm going to host a workshop on Chat GPT and I'm going to show you how you can use Chat GPT to take several roles into your business, not just using Chat GPT as a search engine. I want to talk about how just like automation is everywhere, but I don't want to get too far away on why I'm talking about it's important for you to understand the use cases behind blockchain technology, right? So as you can see, I'm going to switch and see if I can share my screen somewhere else right now. Boom, boom. And then let's see, I'm going to stop the share. So, but as what I was saying is that imagine when you go to the DMV, right? You're going to go to the DMV and you're not going to have to and you're like, how's this going to take place, right? So one of the things that I want people to realize is that everything's going to be seamless, right? As you can see, there's so many layers of things that are piling up that all of it's going to be seamless, right? And let me circle back because I'm a tinfoil hat conspiracy guy myself, right? But what I want you to understand is that we're in the fourth industrial revolution, right? Internet, all things digital, and then non-renewable, like renewable energy is like part of the fourth industrial revolution, right? So in my opinion, you should be focusing on how to even shift your business, your life, and your mind into this. And if you're not, I personally believe that in the future, the homestead skills are going to be the most valuable, right? And it's because we're so disconnected from everything because we already embraced it, right? And one of my favorite things that I like to talk about is how I remember growing up, right? And when the internet first came up with dial up and all this other stuff, right? And everybody was talking about how they didn't even want to put their credit card on the internet, right? But we went from being afraid to put our credit card on the internet, right? And then we went from wanting to put our credit card on the internet to now you retinal scan on your phone to unlock it, right? You use your fingerprint to unlock it, right? You have every device, like you have a wallet, Apple Pay, right? Apple Pay has like several of your credit cards and all of this other stuff. And I'm not saying if one of you personally do not have that. I'm saying there's the majority of people who actually have that now, right? So one of the things that I want to show you guys now, right, is that, excuse me, guys, is that you're going to have to understand that with or without you, the future is now. It is going forward, and nothing about this is going to change, right? What I want you to realize is that it's easier to swim with the current, right? And I like to use this waterfall theory, right? Is that you can swim with the current, right? And you see the waterfall ahead, right? It doesn't matter where you think that it's going or what's happening in real time, right? That you can either swim with the current or you can wish you could go back to the days of old, right? And you know, the people who don't like self-checkout and all that other stuff, right? Like, what are you going to do about it, right? In this world, most of the jobs, like if you're not an entrepreneur, you are asking someone to create a job for you so you can provide a living, right? Now, with the exception of people who have actual trade skills, right? Because that's very important, right? Because when I go into this next segment, when I talk about AI and everything, and what you need to understand is that even if you're a plumber, you need to learn how to implement AI to make your life easier, whether it be bookkeeping, generating leads, customer service, right? And then like following up with people, getting people to leave you a review on Google, because everyone, like, whether you're a tradesman or not, you're using the internet to generate leads. Because I know when it comes to direct mail, I'm throwing that crap in the garbage. You know, like there's people who spend thousands of dollars on direct mail, right? And then here's the thing about advertisement and marketing and stuff like that. The KPIs on that are all over the place, right? You don't know where it goes. The thing that I like about running ads on Facebook and then seeing engagement on posts and things like that is that you can actually measure and direct where you want it to go, right? Because I'm telling you, there's people who send things into my mail and I just throw it straight in the garbage. I cycle through a coupon, business card, business card, business card. And if you got the discretionary income to just throw $2 out every time in hopes that it gives you a $10,000 sale or something like that, go for it. I'm saying that the best way for your business to stay in the black is to get digital, right? Now, we can talk about the WEF and Cloud Swap and what they got going on. I have a lot of insight on that. But you're going to have to get with the times. The only thing they're pushing is the fourth industrial revolution is real, right? And I don't know if any of you guys follow me, if somebody's news, listen to this and to my crew on YouTube, right? Is that I made a Facebook post where, and I think I put it in my community on YouTube. I'm not sure about it, right? But what I wanted to talk to you guys about is just about just think about, let me show you this, right? So I want to show you why all of these things is true here. So I'm going to show you right now about Bitcoin, right? And why I believe that it's going to correct. But you're going to have and I'm telling you, opened up with saying I do not have a crystal ball, right? I want you to realize that in order to see opportunity, you have to be able to be aware when it's coming, right? And I'm just going to give you some free game here. And I know when my homeboy JT, the pocket watcher, and Common Sense Eli hates the free game, but I'm going to share it with you guys right now, all right? So let me go ahead and make sure that I can pull this up, right? Make sure I got what's going on. Boom, where's the bottom? All right, guys. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Let me double check. So this is something that I keep on my tabs that you see here, right? And it's where is the bottom, right? And it's like putting Bitcoin crash into perspective. And it's just like, so this was written in, I can't remember when it was written. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. When was it? So 2018 is when this was published, right? So a lot has changed, but this is up into that point that a lot of it was pretty specific, right? So now it says visualizing all the horrific Bitcoin crashes, right? And I just want to tell you why there's opportunity, because I made a post earlier today where I was talking about when Bitcoin crashed to 15K, everybody was afraid of it. The best time to invest is when there's blood in the streets, right? So, because you get more appreciation on your capital when the market is down. And that's the whole point of investing. I do not understand the concept of, even in when I hear some of my friends on Facebook, when I make my post and there's like, yeah, I'm going to eventually start investing in it again. Like when Bitcoin's 100K, and then you're going to be like, what you going to do? Put your $100 a week in, your $1,000, your 10K, and then when you could have put in $100 when it was 15K, and then when it goes to 100K, you could realize that potential. And this is why I want to show you this, right? So as you can see here, is that Bitcoin was $7.38. It crashed 49%. And this is in 2012, right? To $3. Like, I cry every time I see this. Every time I see this, it makes me cry a little bit on the inside. It's like $3 Bitcoin. Boy, get out of here. Imagine if you spent $100 on $3 Bitcoin. But this is why I'm saying this now, right? Like, I'm telling you right now that imagine if you spent the $100 and $3. This is called opportunity cost, right? What do you lose by not taking action, right? And then assuming that, you know what, it'll come back. And like, and what I'm saying is I've already learned from that. One of the things that I've learned is that you should always buy dollar cost average, right? Because one of the biggest regrets I have is not betting the house when I already made a sizable investment earlier, right? And then it's like, because I can't get that time back, I can never go back to those prices, right? And then as you can see, from $3.80, right? This is in January. 8 months later, in August, it went up to $16. Just even if you held that $7 and let it crash, right? And this is a testimony to Charlie Munger, right? One of the greatest investors of all time, and Warren Buffett, and RIP Charlie Munger, right? And then so I love the transparency and the honesty that they have, right? Like Warren Buffett was talking about how he made his first $1 billion when he was 60 years old, right? He's 96 now. So even if you're somebody who's new to investing over the 5-10 years, right? He was 86. He had 26 years of capital. He just had 26 years of wow, I'm drawing a blank of just that excuse me, guys. He had 26 years of just compounding interest on his investment of $1 billion, right? So, and he said, like, just a few months ago that he was just born at the right time and made the right decisions, right? And the reason why I'm making this video is hopefully somebody who listens to this, you're born at the right time today. Everybody has this YOLO mentality that they think they can die any day, right? And they've probably been saying that for 20 years and they're 40 years old now, right? There's people who've been saying, like, yeah, you never know when you're going to go, right? And you've been living for 30 years, right? And you'll be like, I'm not going to invest, but you lost 30 years of opportunity cost. And this is the point of what I'm trying to say is, when are you going to snap out of it, right? And it's so easy to be a hater, right? It's so easy to hate and be a skeptic, right? I heard about my neighbor. Well, let me tell you what, your neighbor had a gambling problem. He took all of his money, took all of his savings, right? Which is bad financial, like that's bad financial literacy. You never take your entire savings and bet the house. You like those stories, but you hear more stories about people who take stuff and bet the house and lose it all, right? Vegas is a very profitable infrastructure based off how profitable winning and gambling is and losing is. And so anyhow, and that's why I opened up with Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett is because, and I also said earlier that I don't sell my Bitcoin, right? I just buy more of it all the time, right? right? So one of the things that you have to start realizing is that, look at this. Like, look at this one right here, right? So this is the 2017, right? $2,000 to 19,000, right? Crash 82 and so on and so forth, right? So what I want to show you is that even though nothing goes up forever, and that's the most important takeaway that I want you to have, is that nothing, absolutely nothing goes up forever. So eventually something is going to crash, right? It's like, so it's got to come down. What goes up? Like, there is nothing that goes up forever. Even like the beloved Walmart stock, it goes up and then it goes up, right? So now I want to pivot into AI here, right? Because we live in the world of sensationalized entertainment. So I know that the attention span is not too long these days, right? So I'm going to pivot into how now, given the information that I just gave you there, what I want to summarize that section up is that cryptocurrency is a fantastic investment. It's one of the greatest performing. Thank you. And then so one of us, apparently I must have lost the signal at some point, and then I maybe corrected it by now. And then so, but anyhow, let's keep going. Let me know if I lost signal, guys. If YouTube, let me know if anybody there, if I lost signal. I think my camera probably timed out, because one of the things I'm learning now is that, oh, there you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so now another thing that I want to talk about, right, is that you have to learn how to use cryptocurrency the way that it's actually supposed to be used, right? And what I mean by that is the same thing with this Bitcoin ETF, right? Ethereum is probably, Ethereum is going to get approved for ETF. If they did Bitcoin, they're going to do Ethereum too, right? Like, it just, to me, it just makes sense. It's because, let me tell you about financial products, right? And this is what you have to start understanding about finances in general, right? Even if you're in real estate and mortgage, there's different financial products that people offer in order to create revenue, right? The ETF is a financial product that companies use, right? So an exchange traded fund, right? So keep that in mind. The ETF is an exchange traded fund, right? It's a fundraiser, right? Even if you're doing multifamilies, right? You can raise a fund in order to build up to fund the project of a multifamily. What I'm trying to get at here, right, is most people are lazy, right? And it's not that they're lazy, it's a combination, and there's a huge rabbit hole that can go down on this, is that it's a combination of miseducation, right? Indirect curriculum, meaning it's leading you down a path in another direction, right? Because a lot of people say they wish they learned how to do their taxes when they were in grade school. I can tell you right now that one of my friends is a tax strategist, and he even says himself, like, he's like, it's so vast that you're better off just paying someone to do your taxes, right? And then most people are 1040 easies, right? Which is easy. There's not too many nuances for people who collect a 1040 on taxes, right? The real people who should understand taxes are business owners, right? But that's why part of the revenue, like part of your business structure, that you should put in bookkeeping and accounting and things like that, and then or learn it yourself. But AI can help you with that, which is where I'm leading up to as well, right? That's something that you should be using AI for in order to help you. But then take that to your bookkeeper, right? And then just to see it, like one time, use AI, like right now is the time. Take your QuickBooks, plug it into ChatGPT, and have it see what you owe, right? And just test it out. I'm gonna show you a prompt on how to do that, right? And I'm gonna show you, like, you can go and explore GPTs and see how to use it. You can actually create one, which I'm thinking about doing, and just guide you guys to it anyhow, right? So anyhow, excuse me, guys. I'm coming over something, so I got this ugly cough, just so you know, it's ugly. But anyhow, this is also, just so you know, this is the live recording. You guys feel free to engage, right? And one of the things that I'm going to do is going to be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and it's also going to be on Anchor FM. And anywhere you like to listen to, I'm gonna figure out. I figured out the distribution thing, but it's gonna be here. You can be able to watch it on YouTube. It'll still be on my Facebook. I think Instagram doesn't allow my streaming software to actually save it to my Instagram. So if you're watching on Instagram, guys, it won't be saved, but I will have YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and I think they actually eliminated Google Podcasts now. But I'll have different nuances where you can hear this. I know on Spotify, you have the option to watch video now. So if you find the Earning Interest podcast on Spotify and you subscribe to it, you can do that. Well, also be sure to like and subscribe and share this video so it can get out to more people, because I really want to help educate people, right? And then, so on the back end, that's really my goal with these going lives, is I want to educate people on how you can actually become financially free in this fourth industrial revolution, right? And then, like, we have access to so much information and so many resources that you have to be able to use them all. And so anyhow, let me go back with what I was going to say. I was going to merge into why it's important that cryptocurrency, I don't care what your avenue is, right? So if there's any of my friends out there who's a financial advisor, you can vet me and test me on this, is because I actually met with a financial advisor several times, right? One of my best friends is a financial advisor. And when it comes to an investment portfolio, you have to have exposure to numerous assets. I'm currently trying to take, I'm 98% of my net worth is cryptocurrency and stocks, right? And so now I'm merging into the real estate space, because you know why? There's some people who are hater on real estate and things like that. I see the value. And I encourage you guys to meet with some people, realtors, mortgage brokers, real estate investors, right? And I'm going to interview all these people on this podcast, right? And it's because I want you to have access to the information, right? So I'm going to use my networking power in order to bring the proper people to give you the information that maybe you wish you had in school, guys. So that's more incentive for you to share this, subscribe. I'm going to go live so you guys can actually leave comments and questions so I can get feedback on things I should cover. Maybe I missed something. Maybe you didn't understand what I said. Maybe the live stream sucked and I'm whack. I'm okay with that because I'm of the growth mindset. So give me. I want to grow. I want to get bigger. I need your help. And as long as you're going to give me your eyes and ears, right? The one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to be that person who's just feeding you BS. I don't want to be that person who, when you log onto the internet, you want to find out if you're trying to go to the Cheesecake Factory or Applebee's. I'm not that guy. I want to get to the bag. I want to create wealth for everybody. I want to partner with people who are innovative, strong, powerful people. And I already have that. I have a strong, solid network, and I'm looking to grow with some people and then see how we can thrive, man. And this is where we're at. So anyhow, I want to go and share something with you right now. And this is about, right? Let me see. And then let me just touch this one time because I don't want to time out again on this. So we're going to go with, where's my tab at? Sorry, guys. Bear with me here. Oh, there it is. I'm tripping. Here we go. All right. So I made this post in January 21st, right? And this is talking about the S&P 500 performance by sector, right? So, excuse me again, guys. I apologize for this, right? So now, I want you to realize why I talk about AI, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and then I'm gonna be like, I got some videos that I'm going to show you guys too, right? Is that I want you to see that the S&P 500, which is also an exchange traded fund, right? Is that it's as industrials, consumer discretionary, utilities, the financial sectors, consumer staples, healthcare, IT, which is information technology, energy, materials, rates, and communication services. Now, the idea behind that is those are all of the sectors that make the collection of the top 500 performing assets in the S&P 500, right? As you can see, the blue line is above the rest. It says tech and the rest, right? I want you to see and notice how the rest of it is going across, right? Now, there's a lot of economical and macroeconomics that goes into this, right? But I want to show you that if you're somebody who's still pulling the horse and carriage, the Model T is coming. The Model T is here, actually. The Model T is here, right? And that's a shout out to the other industrial revolutions that I was talking about there, which is the energy. So now, but as you can see, is that the S&P 500 is being held up by technology, right? Primarily, it's AI, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this, right, is because also we're talking about NVIDIA. And if you haven't seen, it's going crazy. And it's going to continue to go crazy. And you know why? Because they have a stronghold. They cornered the market on GPUs, right? So now the only thing that I believe that's going to shift, I'm going to show you some videos about what they're doing, right? So stay with me here, right? One of the things is that they provide the GPUs to so many companies like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, right? And even OpenAI, right? They provide so many GPUs because microchips is in everything. Microchips is in your phone. Microchips in your laptop. Microchips is in my camera, right? Microchips is everywhere, guys. That's what GPUs are. So now, the reason why you need to see this, right, is as you can see, I'm no Warren Buffett. I'm no Charlie Munger. We'll see if I make it to 90. We'll see where my portfolio's at by then. You know, we'll see. I might go down as a legend. You guys might be watching a legend in the making. I'm just kidding, guys. But anyhow, as you can see, is this why you have to get with it, right? Even if you're not an investor, right? Let's say that you're just a business owner, right? This is a testimony to you need to have a social media presence, right? Because all of the money is flowing in technology. I don't care if you're a plumber, an electrician, right? I know I have some buddies who's an electrician, right? And he don't post anything about like being an electrician. But guess what? He posts about other stuff, right? But guess what? That could be the difference maker that makes him a lot of money. Just posting about electrical stuff. Take a video, make a YouTube video about how to check your electrical box, right? And see, what you don't see is that you have a digital footprint. And that's where I'm going with this, right? But this is not I'm going just not, even if you're not into investing, I want to give value to my trade skill guys because they're the ones who are the backbone of all of it, right? Like they're the backbone of America, in my opinion, right? And I just want to give a shout out to all of my tradesmen, the carpenters, the mechanical engineers, right? The plumbers, the people who most people don't realize that when you own a home, you're gonna have to pay those boys. When you rent, the landlord pays you. I was talking to my homegirl Jessica about that, and then so I'm gonna interview her, and we're gonna talk. I'm gonna interview some very powerful people that are local to where I live at, guys. But as I said, like this live stream. Leave me a comment. I don't care if it's what's up or anything. Let's get my engagement up. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, follow, depending on where you're at, guys. Give me a shout out, shoot me a DM, and be on the lookout because after where I'm going here, right? So now, what I want to show you again now is we're going to lean into why you should be focusing on AI and NVIDIA, right? You should buy NVIDIA stock. GPUs ain't going nowhere. AMD is another one that has microchips, right? Those things are very, very necessary. As you can see, our economy is being held up by tech companies, right? And if you don't believe that, I want you to hear, what do you hear about? OpenAI, Microsoft, Amazon, right? And things like that. And so I want you to realize that a real opportunity in the market in the crypto space is actually AI on the blockchain, verifiable. using how can you decentralize GPUs, right? And I have a tip that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to make a reel about it and a post about it. I already did it earlier. You can go back on my Facebook and see it, right? I'm predominantly going to be a Facebook and YouTube. And, you know, someone talked me into TikTok again. I was going to let go of TikTok. But I'm going to try to post everywhere. But I'm a long form guy because I feel like you need to see more valuable information, right? So now let me go into the next section here, right? I'm going to play a video for you all, right? And when I play this video, I want you guys to understand that this is the future. The future is now. And this guy has, so now, here we go. I got that. Let me make sure I go to the right. All right, so let me see. I got to make sure it's playing. I got to make sure it's going to let me screen. There we go. Let me screen share this because I want you to see this. This is amazing. Incredible. So I'm going to fast forward through it. There's some certain parts that I want you to see because I don't want to take too much of your time. And I'll leave the links for these videos down in the comment on both YouTube and in YouTube and on Facebook. There, guys. So here we are. We're going to share that. Boom, boom, boom. And let's roll it.
For nearly 30 years, NVIDIA's chips have been coveted by gamers, shaping what's possible in graphics and dominating the entire market since it first popularized the term graphics processing unit with the GeForce 256. Now, its chips are powering something entirely different.
ChatGPT has started a very intense conversation.
He thinks it's the most revolutionary. He thinks it's the iPhone.
Venture capital interest in AI startups has skyrocketed.
All of us working in this field have been optimistic that at some point the broader world would understand the importance of this technology. And it's actually really exciting that that's starting to happen.
As the engine behind large language models like ChatGPT, NVIDIA is finally reaping rewards for its investment in AI, even as other chip giants suffer in the shadow of US-China trade tensions and an ease in the chip shortage that's weakened demand. But the California...
All right, hold on. Now, before I get too far down the rabbit hole on this, right? So I want you guys to know, right, that I just went to the Space Coast Alliance for Tech and Innovation, right? And one of the things that I want you to know is that one of the speakers there was a guy named Corey Cook, right? And he is the project manager, right? The senior project manager of supply chain and supply chain issues. And anyway, so he's one of the top guys that handles supply chain and logistics. Man, that just slipped and lost my mind, right? So in his presentation, he was talking about how the technology that they currently have is already light years beyond the ones that you see today. He also was talking about how, and I want you to see how there was and he spoke about China and the US and supply chain issues, right? And one of the things that they were focusing on was that they were building like a necessary they were building the tech in order to solve the problems on the supply chain and logistics. I made a video when I asked them about blockchain technology and when it took off, right? So before, I just wanted to show you that in that video, when it opened up with that right off the jump was exactly what it was talking about, right? So now, let me go back to the video.
Based chip designer relies on Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company to make nearly all its chips, leaving it vulnerable.
The biggest risk is really kind of U.S.-China relations and the potential impact of TSMC. If I'm a shareholder in NVIDIA, that's really the only thing that keeps me up at night.
This isn't the first time NVIDIA has found itself teetering on the leading edge of an uncertain emerging market. It's neared bankruptcy a handful of times in its history when founder and CEO Jensen Huang bet the company on impossible-seeming ventures.
Every company makes mistakes, and I make a lot of them. And some of them puts the company in peril, especially in the beginning, because we were small and we're up against very, very large companies, and we're trying to invent this brand new technology.
We sat down with Huang at NVIDIA's Silicon Valley headquarters to find out how he pulled off this latest reinvention and got a behind-the-scenes look at all the ways it powers far more than just gaming. Now one of the world's top 10 most valuable companies, NVIDIA is one of the rare Silicon Valley giants that 30 years in still has its founder at the helm.
I delivered the first one of these inside an AI supercomputer to OpenAI when it was first created.
60-year-old Jensen Huang, a Fortune Business Person of the Year and one of Time's most influential people in 2021, immigrated to the US from Taiwan as a kid and studied engineering at Oregon State and Stanford. In the early 90s, Huang met fellow engineers Chris Malachowski and Curtis Priam at Denny's, where they talked about dreams of enabling PCs with 3D graphics, the kind made popular by movies like Jurassic Park at the time.
If you go
So now, there's going to be a bunch of things that I'm going to talk about on this, right? But that right there, in that meeting that I went to here in Brevard it was the Florida Tech. I'm really bad with the names. It was my first time there. I put it in one of my posts when you see it, guys. But anyhow, is that he was saying that Lockheed Martin, right, was responsible for the technology in over 1,000 movies, right? And as you can see, Jurassic Park was one of them, right? But this isn't. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. So Jurassic Park was one of them, right? And then when you see it, like, I just want you to start realizing and conceptualizing how important all of this stuff really is and how synonymous it all is, right? I just want you to be sure and understand that you understand how great of a time that we live in. And then I'm just super excited about it. And I'm gonna start the video again.
Go back 30 years, at the time the PC revolution was just starting, and there was quite a bit of debate about what is the future of computing and how should software be run. And there was a large camp, and rightfully so, that believed that CPU or general purpose software was the best way to go. And it was.
The crypto mining boom collapses, then there is a big crash, right, on the gaming
There
side.
we go.
Although NVIDIA did create
Here we go. Here we go. This is what I want you guys to see. It's a 17-minute video.
After, 10 years after CUDA came out, that all of a sudden people understood this is a dramatically different way of writing computer programs, and it has transformational speedups that then yield breakthrough results in artificial intelligence.
So what are some real-world applications for NVIDIA's AI? Healthcare is one big area. Think far faster drug discovery and DNA sequencing that takes hours instead of weeks.
We were able to achieve the Guinness World Record in a genomic sequencing technique to actually diagnose these patients and administer one of the patients in the trial to have a heart transplant, a 13-year-old boy who's thriving today as a result, and then also a 3-month-old baby that was having epileptic seizures, and to be able to prescribe an anti-seizure medication.
And then there's art powered by NVIDIA AI, like Rafiq Anadol's creations that cover entire buildings. And when
So real quick, I want you to realize how incredible what they just said is. So one of the things that I'm interested in, so if you follow me, I'm going to dive deeper into just not using AI for ChatGPT, and you got to think about the grand scope of artificial intelligence and what large language models are going to do, right? And it's easier to be fearful and angry than it is to educate yourself, right? I make a joke. I don't mean to offend anybody when I say this, right? Is that I believe in God because I'm not intelligent enough to understand physics, right? And it's just a joke. I'm just a firm believer of faith. It's just a joke that I say. And if it triggers you, I'm sorry. But anyhow, what I want you to realize is biotech is something that's very interesting about AI. And it's something that I have my ear to the ground on because I'm extremely interested in it, right? And it's because if you think about this, right? And I said earlier about how we went from not wanting to put our credit cards on the internet, right? We went from not wanting to put credit cards on the internet to retinal scanning your phone, facial recognition, right? Even to get like a Coinbase account for those of you who use centralized exchanges, right? You had to scan your face, right? And you were willing to do it. You do your fingerprint, right? You give your voice. You let access to your microphone. You leave background apps open, right? So what I'm saying is not only that, right? Think about how seamless everything that you already do is. Whether it's the Fitbit tracking your steps, right? The Apple Watch. The Apple Watch knows more about you, right? The Apple, like, I love this because this is for my Apple people who are conspiracy theorists, right? Some people aren't. They're just product consumers, right? And then so, but you don't realize that having that iPhone and it being closed sourced, right? It wouldn't operate if you actually fickled with it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason why you're okay to turn a blind eye to it is because the UI UX is appealing to you, right? It's trendy to have one. The technology is great. I'm not hating on Apple. I'm just telling you, there's different reasons why people have everything. But I want to get back into the biotech and how the Apple Watch has your sleep patterns, your heart rate, how many times you work out, right? You can load it up to sync it with your Apple Music. You got it on your Apple TV. You know, you got now you got the Apple Vision Pro, right? You got everything, and it syncs directly with your Mac, right? So everything you do on your computer and on your phone, the information that they have already is already there, right? So now this goes back into what I was saying earlier about blockchain technology and actually giving people, right? Giving people something for nothing, right? Because you want it. And that's how it all, that's when the robot and what's the word? The cyborg. That's how the people become the cyborg. And that's not conspiracy, it's the truth. They're already, like, he successfully put the Neuralink chip in someone's head and they already could move a mouse with their mind. There's also a 60-minute video of a guy who can put a headset on and you can ask him a question and he can search the internet in his head and it will tell them the answers to the questions that you're asking him, right? The future is now. Like, whether you let the movies gaslight you and stuff like that, like what I was trying to tell you about the Lockheed Martin thing, the movies are only gaslighting you because it already exists. It's not prepping you for it. Like, what are you going to do about it? You're a consumer. The same reason why the same reason why movies, right? And here's another thing that's funny about the programming of movies, right? People don't realize that everyone's like, I lived my whole entire life and I've never seen a Chinese restaurant commercial, right? Not realizing that every movie you watch from New York or like LA, whenever they're sitting at home and they order in Chinese, that's a commercial because you want to live through the movies, vicariously through the movies. That's what people don't understand, is that the programming is everywhere, right? It's just like putting the TikTok video and then you hear the trending audio, right? And then it rewards people who want the following, right? And then it's like that joke I made about, you know what lives rent free in my head? I was bad in school. Now you got to get in with me. I don't know. Like, and what I'm saying is that I don't even know if I really like that song or if I heard it so much that now it's the only thing that I care about, you know? But so anyhow, what I wanted to show you is that biotech and AI, like there's also like, this is just one thing with NVIDIA. I saw something that they're using AI now for early detection of forgive me guys, Alzheimer's and like degenerative brain diseases, like Alzheimer's, dementia, and all things like that. They're already using AI to actually be able to do more work than a doctor's research team can do, right? And so you just have to understand that this era that we live in, it's here and it's not going anywhere. They're going to try to regulate it, right? But I'm telling you that even if with regulation, it's like does gun control stop people from using a gun? Right? Like, you know what I mean? It's like eventually, like, you can sit here and do all this stuff. Like, they got to get it under control, right? And then, like, the one thing people need to realize is the one thing I believe is that the last thing we need is more government. So, anyhow, let me finish this video, right? And I'm going to show you another one with Sam Altman and OpenAI. And then I'm going to close with showing you guys the
crypto started to boom, NVIDIA's GPUs became the coveted tool for mining the digital currency.
Which is not really a recommended use.
So now, look, I'm just telling you that the writing's on the wall. Just to invest in things, right? And like that right there, right? And this is just a CNBC video, right? I do not own the rights to this video, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is that, think about this, right? Is I'm a crypto guy. And the other day, I was telling people that I see an opportunity for commercial real estate and crypto mining, right? Here they are talking about using semiconductors, right? So look at this. Look at the guy's name. I want you to see this guy's name, right? They may not tell you that they don't rock with crypto, but look who's already talking about mining it. The senior semiconductor analyst, Bank of America Securities, right? You guys have to stop letting random people on the internet and the tribalism and the camaraderie of just being an ignorant fool. Like I'm just like, there's no other way to say it. I'm arguing with people who's like, oh, well, why would they ever use this? It'll never be the dollar. It'll never be fiat. You know, like it just doesn't make sense to me that like, why am I arguing with somebody when this guy is like this guy worked for Bank of America and they're already talking about how important NVIDIA's micro semiconductors are for the mining of crypto. Come on, man. Vivek Araya, right? And I probably said his name wrong. PhD, senior semiconductor analyst. They already gave a guy a job to look for microchips for Bank of America Securities. Come on. Like, I'm not making this stuff up, man. And this is what I'm really trying to drive home, is that I'm just not making this stuff up. What I'm trying to show you is that this stuff is wild. Like, how can you not see this? How can you not see the forest from the trees? Now, let me play this again.
Usage, but that has created, problems because crypto mining has been a boom or bust cycle. So gaming cards, right, go out of stock, prices get bid up, and then when the crypto mining boom collapses, then there is a big crash, right, on the gaming side.
Although NVIDIA did create a simplified GPU made just for mining, it didn't stop crypto miners from buying up gaming GPUs, sending prices through the roof. And although that shortage is over, NVIDIA caused major sticker shock among some gamers last year by pricing its new 40 series GPUs far higher than the previous generation. Now there's too much supply, and the most recently reported quarterly gaming revenue was down 46% from the year before. But NVIDIA still beat expectations in its most recent earnings report thanks to the AI boom, as tech giants like Microsoft and Google fill their data centers with thousands of NVIDIA A100s, the engines used to train large language models like ChatGPT.
When we ship them, we don't ship them in packs of 1. We ship them in packs of 8.
With a suggested price of nearly $200,000, NVIDIA's DGX A100 server board has 8 Ampere GPUs that work together to enable things like the insanely fast and uncannily human.
So now, I'm going to stop sharing that, right? Because now what I want to go into is I want to start talking to you guys. Like, as you can see, AI is here to stay. They're using it for multiple things other than just ChatGPT, right? I'm looking to build with people who are trying to get into that space. I'm looking to thrive in this fourth industrial revolution, right? And I'm trying to build a community of people who also want to, right? So that's my Fourth Eye Visions is the company that I am putting together now. And what we are doing, we are creating solutions to thrive in the fourth industrial revolutions using AI, blockchain technology, and creating financial freedom through cryptocurrency. But what I want to go into is just like you have to start understanding and utilizing ChatGPT. What I want you to realize is that it's not going anywhere. And I'm going to close with this, right? And then I'm going to see if anybody has any questions, any comments, or anything like that. And then I'm probably going to log off. But here's what we're going to do here, right? So now, ChatGPT or OpenAI, now they have GPTs, and then they have Sora, right? And so now the thing about Sora, right, is that I want you guys to realize that this is text to video prompt, right? The reason why this is important, right, is that you don't understand that how often we are going to just be able to produce content at a very high volume, right? So now let me show you. This is the last but not least one that I'll do. Last screen share here, guys. I just wanted to show you this. All right, guys. So here we go. As you can see, it says, creating video from text. Sora is an AI model that can create realistic and imaginative scenes from text instructions, right? So we're teaching AI to stimulate in the physical world in motion with the goal of training models that help people solve problems that require real-world interaction. Introducing Sora, our text-to-video model. Sora can generate videos up to a minute long while maintaining visual quality and adherence to the user's prompts, right? So now I want you to see this video. This thing is beautiful, right? Look at this. Let me see. As you can see, right? That looks realistic. That is not an actual person. That is a person generated by AI, right? But look at the prompt, right? And so I'm hosting a workshop and I want you guys to realize, look, a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon and animated city signage. She wears a black leather jacket and long red dress and black boots and carries a black purse. She wears sunglasses and a red lipstick. She walks confidently and casually. The street is damp and reflective, creating a mirror effect of the colorful lights. Many pedestrians walk about, right? So now, this scares a lot of people, right? Look at this, right? Several giant woolly mammoths approach treading through a snowy meadow. Their long woolly fur lightly blows in the wind as they walk the snow-covered and dramatic snow-capped mountains, right? So the most important thing that I want you guys to realize about this, right, and this is something that I personally think myself, right? Look at this. This is incredible video, text to video right now. Look at this. Off this prompt, a movie trailer featuring the adventures of a 30-year-old spaceman. So like, this is what the strikes were about. This is what the strikes were about in Hollywood, right? The thing about this, right, is that, let me make sure that you can see these videos before I get too carried away. There we go. So now, like, look at this. Like, this is what the strike's about. Like, this stuff is over with. It's over for. Look at that. That's not real. Drone view of waves crashing against rugged cliffs. So now, this is what I want you guys to realize, that the opportunity, right? So once one door closes, another one opens, right? And this is what I want to leave with, right? Although, right, if you're a creative writer, you're someone who writes blogs already, right? If you can write well, right? And I'm not talking like you can do it without being a good writer, right? But I'm talking about AI is going to enhance the people who are already good, right? Like, imagine how realistic videos will be, right? And the scenes that you can capture, right? Like, you can go back to a small venue, right? And create that little scene, create a fake drone. You don't have to go to like New Zealand, fly to New Zealand to capture this, right? Like Lord of the Rings. You can film Lord of the Rings in a Hollywood studio. Lower cost of production, right? That's the automation that's happening in Hollywood, right? But imagine if you're an author, right? And you can write a beautiful story over time, right? You can write a beautiful story over time, and then you can capture the perfect video that creates the imagery for someone to watch and read along with the book at the same time in the Apple Vision Pro. I'm just saying the possibilities are incredible, right? And then like, I just want you like, this is huge for everything, right? So now look at this thing. Create a Disney movie. You can write a children's book and make a video about it at the same time. Put it on Netflix. The opportunities that you can create with these things is incredible. I'm so excited about this. Well, guys, let's see. I think I'm running a little bit long here, guys, so I'm going to wrap up here. Yeah, minute and 6, right? So now, what I want to close with, right? I want to close with this, right? Is that we live in unparalleled times. This is the greatest period in human history because never before has the playing field been as level as it is today. I want you guys to actually consider investing in cryptocurrency, utilizing AI, and if you would like any guidance and any help with that, I want you to be sure to not only like, subscribe, download my podcast, right? But I want you to also think about joining my membership program where I'm going to teach you how to invest in cryptocurrency. I'm going to teach you how to utilize AI and ChatGPT in order to create roles within your business and automate them. Right? I'm going to create a community of developers and entrepreneurs that we can grow and thrive in its fourth industrial revolutions. So if that's something that you're into, guys, please be sure to check out the link in the description or in the comments or reach out to me and be on the lookout for my AI workshop that I'm going to be hosting. It's going to be free for the first 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'm going to close it out to the VIP, where we're going to go deep dive into ChatGPT, and that will be paid. And right now it's at $40, guys. So thank you guys so much. I look forward to you guys, and thank you for listening to the Earn and Interest podcast.